Welcome back, students. Today I will continue our discussion in chapter Atomic Structure. So far I had discussed that how concept of an undivisible atom was introduced. Then later on, as a outcome of discharge tube experiment, divisibility of atom was confirmed. And once it was a well-defined fact or well-established fact that atom is divisible, it itself is made up of electrons, protons and neutrons. Another question that arises that how these subatomic particles are distributed in the atom. And this distribution of subatomic particles in atom is actually the structure of atom. There was hypothesis that whether all these three subatomic particles they are uniformly distributed or any of them two are at one place, another is at one place, and if the two are one place, then who are those two, or all the three are arranged at different places, etc. Now regarding this arrangement of subatomic particles inside the atom, first idea was given by J.J. Thomson. Thomson has proposed that entire positive part of an atom is uniformly distributed like the kernel of a watermelon, the red part of watermelon. All of we have seen a watermelon. When it is cut from the inside, we can see that there is a red colored part which is edible, which we used to eat, and black colored seeds are embedded in it at different places. Thomson's model was based on an analogy with this watermelon. He said that like this red part of watermelon, positive part of atom is also uniformly spread, and negatively charged electrons they are embedded in this positive part at different places like the black seeds of watermelon. So that is how his model was also called as watermelon model or plum pudding model. He said that like electrons are like the cherry which is present in the cake. And he said that electrostatic attraction between this positive part and negative parts holds them together, and this negative part neutralizes positive part, and as a whole atom is neutral. Here the one thing is to be kept in the mind that at the time when Thomson proposed his model, neutron was not discovered. So in his model, there was no mention of neutrons. This I discussed you earlier. Now afterwards, after the Thomson's model was proposed, Rutherford carried out a revolutionary experiment. And this experiment has changed entirely the way we was looking at the structure of atom. Results was incredible. In own words of Rutherford, he said that results of this experiment was so incredible that you shot a bullet at a piece of paper, and after colliding there it bounced back and hits you. So incredible results were obtained. So in this discussion, in today's discussion, I will discuss you what is Rutherford experiment and what was its observations. So first I will discuss the instrumentation that were used in Rutherford's experiment. In Rutherford's experiment, a radioactive element was taken that was placed in a lead box, and as we know that from radioactive elements, three types of waves are given out: alpha rays, gamma rays and beta rays, out of which alpha rays are allowed to pass through a slit and allowed through to pass through a very thin gold foil, and in front of this gold foil a rotable zinc sulfide screen was placed. This is a rotable zinc sulfide screen, and zinc sulfide is a phosphorescent substance. When any charged particle strikes at the surface of zinc sulfide, a small flash of light or a small scintillation is produced, and a microscope was mounted above this so that place of scintillation and their number can also be counted. So this is a lead block, this is radioactive substance, this is a slit, this is a very thin gold foil, and this is a rotable zinc sulfide screen, and a microscope was placed here to trace the path of alpha particles and to count their number. So this is Rutherford's gold foil scattering experiment. And as I told you that the results and observations of this experiment was incredible. In the own words of Rutherford, it was as incredible as you fire a bullet on a piece of paper and it bounces back and hits you. So in this experiment, alpha rays that was originating from the piece of a radioactive element was allowed to pass through a very thin gold foil, and after passing through it was allowed to fall on a rotable zinc sulfide screen. It can rotate to the 360 degree, and as these alpha rays they strike at this zinc sulfide screen, a small flash of light or scintillation was produced, and with the help of this light, this flash, you can trace the path of alpha rays and their number. Why gold was taken here? There are two reasons to it. One, gold is most malleable metal, so very thin foil can be made with it. And secondly, gold has got a significantly big nucleus. Its atomic mass is very high, so the positive charge is quite high. And because of these two reasons, this gold was chosen in this experiment. Now, let us come to the observations of this experiment. First observation was that most of alpha particles passed through undeviated. There was no change in the path of alpha particles that are moving through this gold foil. 99% alpha particles, they don't show any deviation. So had the model of Thomson was correct, which was supposed to be continuous, in which entire positive charge was uniformly spread and negatively charged electrons were embedded in it, this observation would not have been there. Secondly, few alpha particles deviated with mild angles. Few alpha particles deviated with mild angles. And third, few means 1 out of 20,000. And very few or in very rare cases, the deviations was more than 90 degree or even 180 degree. Very few. Deviation was more than 90 degree or even 180 degree. That is, some of the alpha particles, they retraced their path. They traveled in this way, then after colliding to the foil, they just came back like this. So these were the three observations of this Rutherford's gold foil experiment. First, most of the alpha particles, they crossed the gold foil without any change in their path or in their velocity, as if there was nothing in between them. Although this gold foil was being placed there, it was a very thin gold foil, and for the purpose of experiment, it was presumed that it has got a 1 atom thickness. But the first observation was that most of the alpha particles, they pass through this gold foil without change in either their velocity or in their directions. So most of the alpha particle pass through this gold foil as if there was nothing placed in their way. So this was the first observation. Now there is second observation, that very few alpha particles, roughly 1 out of 20,000, they suffered with mild deviation from their path. They were traveling like this, and all of a sudden they moved from their path, and there was a mild deviation or there was a small deviation from their expected path. And very few, roughly 1 out of 60,000 alpha particles, suffered with the greater deviations of either more than 90 degree, or in certain cases they retraced their path. They just returned to the same path through which they have gone. So these were the three observations of Rutherford's gold foil scattering experiment. Now, if we take Thomson's model as true, these observations would not have been there. Had the atom was continuous as proposed by Thomson, it was impossible that most of the alpha particles, more than 99% of the alpha particles, they pass through it. So these observations were not explained by the existing Thomson's model, and Rutherford inferred these observations in a different way. How? Let us see. So how these observations were inferred by the Rutherford? According to Thomson, in atom, positive part is spread uniformly and negatively charged electrons are embedded at different parts in this way. Now this was the first observation that most of the alpha particle pass through the atom or pass through the gold foil undeviated. That means there is a lot of hollow space in atom. Atom is not continuous as proposed by Thomson. So first conclusion that was drawn by the Rutherford is that atom has a large hollow space. Secondly, there was few alpha particles that deviated with mild angles. So it was proposed by the Rutherford that entire positive charge of atom is concentrated at one place, and these alpha particles, they are the nucleus of helium, they are also positively charged. So when these positively charged alpha particles, they passed nearby to this positive charge, because of mutual repulsion among same charges, they have been deviated from their path. So few alpha particles deviated from their with mild angles. That means all positive charge of atom is collected at one place. And third observation was that a very few alpha particles, roughly 1 out of 60,000, has deviated with more than 90 degree or even 180 degree. So for that, Rutherford proposed that this part where all the positive charge of atom is collected is quite strong and has got very small volume in comparison to the total volume of atom. And accidentally, when it happened that some alpha particle has gone there and has got direct collision to this part where this positive charge is collected, then more than 90 degree deviations were observed. So part has very small volume in comparison to total volume of atom. So these were the observations that were made by the Rutherford. First observation was that most of the alpha particles, they pass through the gold foil undeviated. And if we consider this gold foil as made up of one atom thickness, then we say that most of the part of atom is hollow. There is nothing. So once these alpha particles, they passed through this, there was no change observed either in their direction or in their velocities or velocity through which they were traveling. Then few alpha particles, they deviated with mild angles. That means what? That all the positive charge of atom is collected at one place. So when these positively charged alpha particles, they pass through that place, they were repelled and their path was changed. Say for example, someone is standing here and I am traveling like this, and when I come to near to his, he throws me like this. So what will happen? My movement that was in the straight direction will be changed somehow like this. But if I directly collide to the person, or if I directly collide to something, say for example I am running like this and I collide with this wall, so what will happen? I will be thrown back. In the similar way, very few alpha particles were those who has directly gone and collided with this positive part, and that is how there was deviations more than 90 degree, or even they retraced their path. Let us try to understand these observations and these conclusions on the basis of our current understanding of structure of atom, and then that will make it even more clear. So what we know about atom as on date, simplest understanding of atom is that atom has got a nucleus that contains protons that are positively charged and neutrons that are electrically neutral, and electrons revolve around this nucleus in circular path in this way. So these circles that I had drawn shows the travel path of electron. Now keeping in mind this structure of atom, now when alpha particles are allowed to pass through it, the alpha particles that will pass through this, or alpha particles that will pass through this, they will not show any deviation from their path. So the alpha particles that were passing through this area, no deviation was observed for them. This is nucleus which is positively charged. So if some of the alpha particles has gone through this way, so when this positively charged alpha particles reached here, near to this positively charged nucleus, because of mutual repulsion, they deviated from their path with mild angles. And if accidentally it happened that some alpha particle has came and directly collided with this part, more than 90-degree deviation was observed. And as the total area of this part which is positively charged is much small in comparison to the total volume of atom, so very rare incidents happened where deviations more than 90 degree or even 180 degree were observed. So that is how it was Rutherford's experiment that has paved the way for the modern understanding of atom. If I simply ask you that what is an atom, then whatsoever you have understood as on date, on the basis of which you will say that atom has got a nucleus where electrons and protons are present, and electrons revolve around this nucleus in circular paths. And this basic idea of atom has came in existence as a result of this Rutherford's gold foil experiment. So to sum up, first observation of Rutherford was that most of the alpha particle pass through the gold foil undeviated. Conclusion: there is lot of hollow space in the atom like this. A very small part is solid where positive charge is present and rest is hollow place. Second, few alpha particles suffered with deviations with their mild angles. So when these positively charged positively charged alpha particles, they passed nearby to this positively charged nucleus. So they suffered with mild deviation, and that is what Rutherford said, that all the positive charge of atom is concentrated at one place, and this place is very small and very hard as compared to the total volume of atom. So rarely when it happens that some alpha particles they go on and collide with this nucleus, deviations more than 90 degree were observed. Then on the basis of this experiment, Rutherford first proposed his atomic model that had differentiated, that has shown the existence of nucleus. We will discuss this atomic model in detail in our next module. Thank you.